Welcome. This is going to be my video on scroll saw safety and how to install a blade. The first thing, well, with any tool, anything in the shop, you want to make sure you have protective eyewear. You want to make sure you have closed-toed shoes. And you have anything loose that's tied back. I have a little bracelet here. I make sure I have a rubber bands around it. It kind of keeps it all secured to my wrist. The second thing with this is you want to make sure that this bed is completely clear of debris. I sweep it. If any scrap pieces are on there, make sure you throw those in the trash. But you also want to make sure that the floor is cleared from debris. When using the scroll saw, it's not uncommon that you're walking around the tool. You don't want to walk around the tool and then step on a piece of wood over there, slip, fall, or anything like that. So take a look at the floor, sweep the floor if necessary. And then the next thing you want to make sure that you have your bed here is secure. This bed can tilt. There's a knob underneath here, and we can actually tilt the bed if we want to. But that's if you want to. You want to make sure that the bed is in a secure position and make sure that's tightened down. The next thing I want to cover is the blade. On these scroll saws, they are not super strong saws. They're not meant to cut big, thick pieces of wood. They're not made to run wood through it very fast. It's more of a finesse tool. So because of that, while we're still learning, the blades pop out quite a bit. All right, until you get a handle of how much speed it can take, how much turn you can make, and stuff like that. So to install the blade correctly, this has a tensioning knob right here. This knob right here will raise and lower this arm. So before I install the blade, I want to make sure the tension is all the way off of it. I'm going to turn the knob all the way in this direction. This arm is lowered to its lowest possible position, and then I can go ahead and insert my blade. Now the way this works, there's a screw on each side of this. There's this screw with the wing nut, but there's also a set screw on this side. Those two screws should meet in the middle. The set screw should already be turned and to the middle, so you're really just bringing in this wing nut screw to this first one, and they're going to pinch together and pinch on that blade. There's the exact same assembly underneath this bed as well, and it functions the exact same way. So to install the blade, I'm going to drop the blade down this hole. But before I do that, I have to ensure that it's in the correct orientation. This saw is going to cut on, this arm's going to move up and down. I want to make sure it's cutting wood on the downstroke. When it's cutting wood on the downstroke, it's going to push the wood down to this bed. This bed is stronger than I am. This is iron. To make sure of that, here's a little picture of what this blade looks like. The teeth going in this orientation, that's going to ensure that it's cutting on the downstroke. So I know you guys can't see, but you have to take a look at the blade and make sure the teeth are pointing down and then of course out towards you, so you make sure you cut the wood on the downstroke. If you cut the wood on the upstroke, it's going to pick up the wood. You're constantly be going like this, and that's just not safe. So I'm going to go ahead and put the blade through this hole, down into that assembly below. And then while the tension is all the way off, I'm going to do the same thing up here, put the blade in, and tighten that up. Now, the blade is super loose right now. That's not very good. You pull this tensioning knob, it lifts up that arm. Now that blade is nice and tight. You don't want it too tight, because if it's too tight, you're just going to pull it out all the time. So you'll have to find that happy medium. The only way you really know that is by using the saw and paying attention. I'll tell you right now, for a new blade, like this one right here, I have this tensioning at a setting of either 2.5 or 3. And once that's set, you can wiggle the blade so you know it's in there nice and tight, and you know your blade's installed correctly.